Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head to Estonia once again, and you know, most of my Estonian beers that I've done recently have been from Pühaste Pruulikoda, because that's the biggest craft brewery in Estonia at the moment, the oldest one as well, and I would like to go there again and try some of the other different craft breweries. So if you're watching from Estonia, because the videos that I do of Estonian beers always seem to get a decent number of views, do please let me know some other Estonian breweries that I should check out. I know Untappd, I know Puhäste, I know Puhäste, and I know there's a hell of a lot of other ones out there, so do let me know about these in the comments section below. For this review though, we are going to return to Tartu, the second city of Estonia, home to the country's oldest university, and we're going to have a taste of another beer from Pühaste Pruulikoda. So this one is the Mari. It comes in at 3.5%, so in Swedish terms it is a folksöl. I found this beer in the supermarket. It was quite a nice surprise, and this is a Berliner Weisse coming in at 3.5%, and they've also added some black currants, blackberries and raspberries to this one. So it should be a really interesting beer, this, and I was impressed with the last one that I had from Puhäste. I just wish we could get some more different Estonian breweries up here in Scandinavia. Even in over in Copenhagen, where they've got the free market on alcohol, you don't find all that many Estonian beers. So hopefully that's something that will change over the next little while. But yeah, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Pühaste Pruulikoda before. Hopefully I can add some more in the fairly near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel of course has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlists of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Estonian beers that I've reviewed for you. That's being added to whenever I get the opportunity, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Pühaste Pruulikoda then, on to my brewery notes. So as I mentioned to you earlier, Puhäste are based in Tartu in southeastern Estonia, and they were founded back in 2016 by Eero Mander, Lauri Eiderman and Ular Kaljurand. So Lauri comes from a background in IT, while Ular is a businessman that specialised in restaurants and bars, and Eero was apparently a home brewer for a number of years as well. He started back in 2011 when he was brewing at his summer house in Puhäste. But he released his first commercial beers in 2014 under the name Blessed Virgin, which proved to be really quite successful. But this company started out as a gypsy brewery, and they brewed in various other breweries around Estonia before deciding in 2015 that they wanted to set up their own facility. So they opened this brewery in September of 2016, which can be found in Tehe Street in the southeastern part of Tartu city, and they've already had to expand actually as well. They had to expand their fermentation capacity because there was a lot of demand for their beers, and they're now producing somewhere in the region of 3,500 hectolitres of beer per year. I think, if I remember correctly, that will translate to somewhere in the region of 350,000 litres of beer. So that makes them one of the larger by volume Estonian craft producers, in fact. And it's, as I say, you know, these guys, Untappd and Pühaste, those are the three breweries. I think Leia is another one that comes to mind, Leia Pruulikoda. Those are the four Estonian breweries that I've seen making it abroad, other than in collaborations and things like that. There are others that are really starting to push their way out as well. But yeah, cool to return to this brewery after what must have been about a year and a half, something like that, and I hope this is another beer that's as good as the other one that I tried. But yeah, as is usual, you can check out the brewery website in the description below. You can follow them on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, and that'll keep you up to date with all the latest goings on at Puhäste, because they do seem to be a pretty prolific brewery, in fact, and trying a lot of different things. So yeah, that's all you need to know about the brewery. Check out all the stuff in the description below, and we'll get on to the tasting of this beer itself then. So there you can see, really nice artwork on this one, all berry themed as you would expect from a berry Berliner Weisse, but really nice artwork on this one. It says in English here, it has Estonian and English, and it says this is a Berliner Weisse style sour wheat ale brewed with blackcurrant, raspberries and blackberry. So yeah, and the name is Mari. You'll always get this little table on the bottom here when it comes to the Pühaste beers. They've always got a nice red bottle cap like this one as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, let's get it out and we will get on with the tasting then. Curious to see how this beer comes out. So a 3.5% Berliner Weisse with blackberries, blackcurrants and raspberries. So yeah. as I mentioned in another couple of videos, my Amar Brewhouse glass unfortunately died in the sink, so I'm using this one for the moment until I get another sort of tulip glass, if you like. I always enjoy my tulip glasses. I think, to be honest, we will get all of this beer in there, why not? Yeah, there's a little bit of sediment in this one, which is nice. It's all natural. I always like having a little bit of sediment in my beers to thicken them up a little bit. But yeah, as you can see with this beer, it's poured. Oh yeah, I maybe shouldn't have poured all that sediment in. We'll need to leave the bottom bit of it there. But like I say, it is all natural. But yeah, this beer's poured a really nice red mahogany. It's almost a little bit like a rosewood, almost like a rosewoody chestnutty colour as well. You could see there was a half finger of a frothy kind of pink foamy coloured head on this one. But yeah, one or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass. You can actually see there is a good little bit of sediment in the bottom of the glass there. As I say, I was a bit too hasty with that. I've had it poured quite nicely before, but maybe I messed that one up. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. But yeah, it shouldn't affect the beer too much. If I put my fingers behind the glass, you can see this one does have a nice haze to it, which, to be honest, from a wheat beer, a Berliner Weiss, whatever kind of wheat beer it is, you would definitely expect that. But yeah, really nice looking beer, this one. Let's take a closer look at the aroma and just see how we get on. Oh yeah, the fruity aroma in this beer is really nice, very juicy, very fruity. You can smell the black currants jumping out of this one already. The raspberries, you can feel the little bit of the raspberry tartness just at the top of the nose, but the blackberries and black currants are really giving it this lovely juicy quality. I mean, obviously when it's a fruity Berliner Weiss, the fruits are going to take up the bulk of the aroma, but it smells like a lovely juicy fruity beer, this one. But I would say the black currants and blackberries are definitely giving it more of a juicy quality. You're getting a little bit of the tartness from the raspberry as well. You can smell underneath that there is quite a smooth, a nice smooth and quite bright actually wheaty character. There's maybe a little bit of a biscuity note in there as well, to be honest with you. And you can pick up a little touch of a kind of grassy hoppiness. I mean, it's a German beer style. Usually most breweries will use some kind of noble hop in here, either Hallertau or Tettnanger or something like that. So you will get this nice light grassiness to the beer as well. So to be honest with you, there's not too much else to this aroma other than the juicy fruits, a little bit of sharpness from the raspberry, the kind of grassy noble hop quality, and that smooth white bready malt base. I mean, it comes across as a very nice, smooth and sweet Berliner Weiss. It's been a while actually since I've reviewed a Berliner Weiss for you on the channel, so this one is a bit of a nice change of pace for me. I always enjoy reviewing different sour beers actually, and they're becoming increasingly popular. This might actually, if I remember correctly, this could well be the first sour beer that I've had from Estonia actually, so that makes it an interesting review in that sense as well. So yeah, let's have a taste of this one then and see how we get on. This one is the Mari, a 3.5% Berliner Weiss with black currants, blackberries and raspberries from Pühaste Pruulikoda in Tartu in southeastern Estonia. Let's get stuck into this one. Slanja, skål, Terve 6. Ooh, that's nice. This one, you know, I'll say straight away, it gets a thumbs up from me. You know, one of the great things about Estonia, because I have been to Tartu before, it's a really nice little city actually. The Estonians, they're a very kind of pioneering people, if you like. It's the country in Eastern Europe, if you like, that has developed the most since the fall of communism. You know, they're the most digitally connected country in Europe these days, and their economy is doing exceptionally well, and it's really cool to see that they've got this kind of craft beer scene going on that seems to be thriving as well actually. I always like that. I need to go back to Estonia. I was there back in 2013 with my friend Einar from university, and I had a really good time. Wonderful country, really nice people, pretty place to go, so I need to get back there and actually try some of the different craft beers on site actually. Yeah, that's a really nice beer, this one. If you like the Berliner Weiss, I think you're going to enjoy this one. It's more of a juicy Berliner Weiss, but it does have a nice little bit of tartness on the back end of it. So let's just try and break down the flavour of this one then. So, as you would expect from a Berliner Weiss, the middle of your palate's just blanketed with this nice, smooth, white bready, wheaty side of things. you've got a little bit of a you've got a little bit of a kind of there is a little touch of a biscuity sweetness in the middle of the palate, and that pushes its way out the further you go into the flavour with this one, in my opinion. It does get a little bit more biscuity and sweet the further you go into this beer. But on the hoppy side of things, again, as you'd expect, there is a noble hop quality to this one. So back corners of the palate, it's got a little bit of that light kind of sweet earthiness that you'd expect of Hallertau or Tettnanger. I do suspect that it's one of those two that's in here. And as you come further forward along the sides of the tongue, you can feel that there's a little bit of a floral quality there. But it's quite pushed back. I mean, when you add fruit into a beer like this, as I've told you before, when you add fruit into a beer, it really pushes back. It sort of masks the IBUs of the beer, in fact, and you can get that nice little bit of grassiness going round the front curve of the palate in this beer as well. But really the blackberries and the black currants are pushing back on that a little bit and just suppressing the IBUs of this beer. Yeah, I mean, this one, for me, it's behind the front curve of the palate, you do get some nice red fruity esters out of this one. They'll be coming from the hop, so it kind of has a little bit of that figgy, candied strawberry type thing to it, and that comes out behind the front curve of the palate. But the sort of more tart flavours from the raspberry are coming out around the front edge of the tongue, and the black currants and blackberries for me are spreading round the edge of the tongue a little bit further, but the raspberries are pretty much right on the tip of the tongue too, and they're sort of blending in with that kind of candied strawberry and figgy flavour that I was talking about as well. But to be honest, this beer, it doesn't do anything surprising with the style, but it's just really quite nicely done. I mean, I've always enjoyed berry beers because in Scotland one of our main fruits that we eat is raspberries. We're very good at producing raspberries, apparently. So there's a lot of Scotch ale. You do get some sour beers in Scotland that are mainly raspberry, so it's a flavour that I've really grown to enjoy over the last couple of years since I've been doing these reviews. And this beer really just goes down very easily for me. It's a very easy drinking summer beer, this one. It's a really nice summer Berliner Weisse, I have to say. So yeah, if it sounds like it will tick the boxes for you. If you like black currants, blackberries, raspberries, this one certainly will tick the different boxes for you. Yeah, this one, it gets a thumbs up from me. I mean, it's a nice, in terms of the Berliner Weiss beers, we'll move on to the mouthfeel now. This one leans a little bit more towards the juicy side of things for me. You can get ones that are a good bit sharper than this, but it just has a nice little bit of sourness that comes out a bit more in the aftertaste, and the beer does start to sweeten up again in the aftertaste too. So like I was saying, this beer, I would describe this one as being at the bottom end of mid-bodied. Carbonation is very smooth. The mouthfeel is a little bit oily in this one. It's quite an oily Berliner Weiss at the same time, but it's got a little bit of sharp tartness as well, but it's leaning towards the juicy side of the Berliner Weiss scale. A little bit of bitterness from the hops, but I think you're talking somewhere in the region of like 15 IBUs or something if you're lucky with this beer. But nice little bit of presence from the hops there, smoothness and slight sweetness actually from the malt base. It becomes a little bit sweeter the further you go into the aftertaste, and you've got some juicy fruity qualities coming out of this one as well. This really is quite a juicy Berliner Weiss in my opinion, but it works very, very well, and I wouldn't hesitate to drink this one again. It was quite a nice surprise actually to come across this one in the ICA at Clemens Torget here in Lund. I was quite surprised with that one. So yeah, if it's still there, pick one up and have a go at it. It's a really nice beer, this one. It's if you like the Berliner Weiss style and you like more berry flavoured beers, you certainly will enjoy this one. So yeah, let's leave it at that. Another very, very solid beer from Puhäste. I can't remember what style the last one I tried from them was, if it was a sour or if it was an IPA, but I remember it being a pretty nice beer, I have to say, and I do hope I can review more from this brewery, and indeed some of the other ones around Estonia at some point soon too. I definitely need to go back there. But let's leave it at that for this one. This one is the Mari, a blackcurrant, blackberry and raspberry Berliner Weiss at 3.5% from Pühaste Pruulikoda in Tartu in southeastern Estonia. Really nice beer this, and I'm glad I was able to review it for you. So once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Pühaste Pruulikoda as well. Do give me some Estonian brewery recommendations, and hopefully I can review more from over there in the next little while. But thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Slàinte, skål, terviseks, check out some of the Puhäste beers. Skål.